Hi, I'm Marcel, and welcome to me screaming into the void, mostly about books. I am doing In Search of Wonders Read Classics challenge, where she has one prompt for each month. And for January, and I know this is coming a bit late, but the filming is coming a bit late. But for January, the prompt was read a book on your shelf. And in addition to the prompts, she has certain scavenger hunt that you can look for. And I have been kind of inspired with some of the books I'm going to read for this readathon and some not. And the prompts for January is a book, but also winter and a male protagonist. So this is Winter in Mumiland by Tove Jansson. And this is one of the books that I read for this challenge. And I also want to talk about all of the other books that I have and don't have, but have read, because Tove Jansson is absolutely brilliant. And it goes a bit sort of back and forth of how much we talk about Tove Jansson as an author. Right now, I have I've picked up that she is quite talked about for her more adult stuff. So Summer Island, for example. And they are also brilliant books. Read those. But I don't want us to forget all of the books that she wrote for Moomin. So the idea here is that all of these are set in sort of the same universe, which is the valleys of the Moomin. And there are short, some books are sort of a children's length, and some are a collection of short sort of vignettes that are connected to one another. So this is sort of a mixture of a sort of more an episodic story about what happens when Moomin, who is a part of the Moomin family, which is our main protagonist, and it's Moomin and Moomin Papa and Moomin Mama and his girlfriend and his girlfriend's brother, and all of the wonderful characters in this book. So the Moomins very often slumber or hibernate through winter. And what happens then when Moomin wakes up and it's in the middle of the winter and he has no idea what is going on? And there are so short stories about Moomin then traveling through the Moomi Valley and exploring this completely new world that he has, not understanding anything because he usually hibernates. He has never seen snow and he starts skiing for the first time. And what I've really enjoyed about especially this book is the way that she describes winter, because she is from Finland, which is very north in Europe, and Norway is neighbor one. Sweden is between us. So we have a lot of the same climate in both countries. And the way she talks about winter is so reminiscent of how I, as a child, remember winter. And I don't necessarily mean that winter is changed now, at least it's somewhat changed because of things. But it's more how she describes the way winter acts which is so similar to how I remember I, as a child, described the things, described how it felt when you sort of had snow up to your waist and you had to throg through it, or how the ice is crackling when it starts and when spring is coming. And what I also really enjoy with, especially this one, is Tove Jansson is lesbian, and she was in a same-sex relationship for most of her adult life. And while she sort of has said that that she is very much sort of the inspiration for the Moomin character and another character called Lille-Me, her partner is introduced as a character in Moominvallen in this book. So there's no romantic aspects because these are for children. So, and the character is sort of, he has a girlfriend. That's sort of the most we get with it. But it's so cute, the relationship that they have with one another as friends. But you sort of, it's more cute to know that this character is the inspiration or inspired by Tove Jansson's life partner. And so that is one of the main books. And here are sort of a ton of others. This one is about an invisible girl that suddenly just, in lack of a better term, shows up on the doorstep of the Moomin family, and they don't know really what to do with her, because what do you do with an invisible girl? And the reason why she is invisible is because she has been neglected as a child. So she now has to sort of live and try to figure out who is she within this loving family that gradually notices her. The Comet is Coming, which is also such a wonderful book. And a lot of them have, at least the editions that I have the illustrations that Tove Jansson also created. This book is about how the Moominvallen is in an uproar because a comet is coming and it's changing the geography and it's changing the climate, and everyone is worried about how do we survive this. And while she wrote it in a time when most people would probably think that the comet is coming is a reference to the nuclear bomb. When I reread this now, a few months ago, I realized that you can also read into this, for example, climate change and sort of the comet that is coming is this new world that we don't understand because of climate change. To comfort Toffel. It's also a wonderful book about Toffel, who is such a small character that he keeps being overlooked. And nobody therefore knows who will comfort Toffel. Because who will then see or notice Toffel? And you can see then that there is sort of some sort of repetitions of themes in her books. She is focused on how are children received, how are children viewed and taken care of. She is very talks a lot about the environment that the children are a part of, and how do we interact with that environment, both on a more sort of exploration and as a reaction to something unnatural. And that is, I think, one of the reasons I absolutely love her books. She is a children's author who doesn't talk down to children, who presents very sort of heavy topics, but in a way that children will understand, and in a way where children can engage with them and talk about how does it feel when I am not seen? How does it feel when I am exploring the world around me? How does it feel when I'm worried about something? And these books are a way to engage with children. And they're actually quite philosophical books. They're not saying this is the one way of doing it. They're not saying necessarily that this is how you should raise children or meet children, but more, how does this feel when you interact in this certain way? And when this is a result, how can we deal with it? The point isn't do not traumatize children, but more how can we engage with children who can be traumatized? So if you enjoy children's literature and want to engage with something that might have a little more philosophical sting to it, I can't recommend Tove Jansson high enough. Just ensure that you get an edition that has her illustrations in it, or someone else who sort of is doing a good job with the illustrations. The illustrations are absolutely a part of it. So that's what I read for the challenge. And what did you read? Did you do this challenge? What kind of TBR classics are you having on your shelf? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you for listening to me screaming into the void.